Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make 3 very easy, beginner-friendly, summery crochet tops. And they are so pretty and so fun. They work for so many different aesthetics like fairycore, mermaidcore, hippie vibes, all of the things. So many fun different aesthetics can fit these pieces. And I am so excited for you guys to make these. If you do not forget to tag me because I want to see you in your cute summery outfits with these fun tops to layer. They are 3 different mesh tops and some of them are a little bit easier than others, but I will explain them very slowly so a beginner can definitely understand how to make them. Today I'm using Hobie's seashell yarn. It's a linen cotton blend. It is such an incredible yarn. You guys have to get it. I'm telling you, even for these projects, it is so beautiful to work with. Oh, I have a thing right here. Let me see. 40% cotton, viscose at 35% and 25% linen. This yarn, 10 out of 10, okay? 20 out of 10. It's that good. You guys have to get it for all of your summery projects because it's very breathable. The linen and the cotton blend, very nice and breathable and airy, and it's so pretty. You guys will love this yarn. Will have a link in my description if you want to get yourself some. You will want to get yourself some. So thank you to Hobie for sending me the yarn. It is absolutely beautiful. They send me so many incredible yarns, but I think this one might be my favorite. I love their Friends and Rainbow Cotton line, but this seashell yarn takes it to a whole new level. I'm so excited to get into this tutorial. I have been waiting to put this one together. I just had my baby, so I've been kind of slow going to get this tutorial, you know, for you guys. But I have been working my best, recovering on my bed, crocheting like a mad woman for you guys because I really want to get this tutorial out for you guys to have some really pretty summery tops to make for your incredible adventures this coming season. Summer is my favorite season, and having some breathable, meshy, fun tops to wear. I've been working on crocheting my summer wardrobe, like a bunch of staple fun pieces for my summer wardrobe, and I'm going to make a video with a compilation of all of the things that I've made very soon because I've made a lot so far. And these 3 patterns that I'm showing you guys today are going to be, I'm going to make them in a bunch of different colors because I think they're going to be staples for this summer because they are so fun and so pretty. So don't forget to tag me if you make them. Thank you guys for coming back. I will have chapters with each of the tutorials. If you want to skip to a certain one, you may do that. But I hope you guys make them all because they're all so fun. But thank you guys so much for being here. Let's get into the tutorials, because there's more than one. The first pattern that I'm going to show you how to make is this meshy tank top. It is so cute and extremely simple. First, what you're going to want to do is get a 9mm hook, and we are going to start off with a slip knot, and then you're going to want to make an even number of chains. You're going to chain an even number of chains. I chained 80, and that is dependent upon your size, how many that you chain for your top. So I would go ahead and chain a certain amount and then measure it around your bust and the largest part of your bust, and make sure that it loosely fits or very comfortably fits whatever the fit that you want, if you want it to be tighter or if you want it just to be very loose and flowy. But make sure before you continue on that you have an even number of chains and that it loosely fits around the largest part of your bust. So when you reach the amount of chains that you need, you're going to want to lay them out nice and flat so that they're not twisted. See how I'm untwisting my long chain? Just make sure that it's laying very, very flat, and then go ahead and connect it with that first chain and with a slip stitch, just like that. So then you have one continuous circle, just like that. And then you're going to want to chain 3, nice and loose. 1, 2, 3. And then you're going to skip the next chain. As you can see, we have a chain right next to the chain 3, that one right there. we're going to skip that one and put a double crochet in the next one, because that chain 3 counts as our first double crochet and our first chain 1. So then we're going to chain 1 again, skip a stitch, skip a chain, and go into the next one with a double crochet. And then we're going to go ahead and chain 1 again, skip a chain, and put a double crochet in the next. And we're going to keep on doing this all the way around, chaining 1, skipping a chain, and putting a double crochet in the next. And then repeating that again all the way around. And as you can see, we're starting to get that mesh pattern going here. And we're just skipping a chain, putting a double crochet in the next, then we're chaining 1, skipping a chain, putting a double crochet in the next, and we're just going to be continuing this pattern for literally the whole entire piece, but for this entire row, we're going to be repeating this pattern until we get to the beginning. Chaining 1, and now we are at the beginning, so we have our chain 3 that counts as the first double crochet in chain 1, and I'm just going to slip stitch into that chain 2 right at the top, the second chain or the middle chain of that chain 3. So there's 3 chains there, and you're going to slip stitch into the middle chain of the 3. And then we are going to chain 3 again to start our next row. 1, 2, 3, which counts as our first double crochet, and then a chain 1. So then we're going to go into the top of the previous row's double crochet there with a double crochet. And then we're going to chain 1, and again go into the top of that previous row's double crochet. And this row 2 here is the row that we're going to be repeating all the way until we reach the length of the top that we want. So you're just going to put a double crochet in the top of the previous row's double crochet, and then you're going to chain 1. And then you're going to keep on repeating the same thing. I am having a really hard time with this double crochet here. Okay, we got it. So then you do the double crochet in the top of the previous row's double crochet, then you chain 1, put a double crochet in the top of the previous row's double crochet, chain 1, and continue this all the way around. And then again, you're going to reach the beginning of the row, and you're going to slip stitch into that middle chain of the chain 3. There's 1, 2, 3, and you're going to slip stitch into the middle one to join the round. And it looks like that, nice and seamless. I like to do it this way because then I don't have to sew pieces together. I really don't like sewing pieces together. So if I can just join it like this, I'm happy. So then you're going to chain 3 again and just repeat the exact same thing, putting a double crochet in the top of the previous row's double crochet, chaining 1, double crochet in the top of the previous row's double crochet, and just, continue this until you reach the beginning, and then slip stitch into the middle chain of the chain 3, and then you just keep on going and going and going until you reach the length that you want. I actually kept going for this one for a little bit longer than I did for the green one that I made, but then I went ahead and made another one with this beautiful teal color that Hobie sent me, and I made it into a dress. So you can continue going on with this as long as you want. I made a dress out of mine, and I really love it. If you need to do some increasing on the hips, you can totally do that, but mine fit nicely just with this same exact thing because it was pretty loose and flowy. So if you would like to go ahead and make a dress with yours, you can totally do that. Just keep on going with this for however long that you want, and I will meet back up with you once we both have the length that we want. See how beautiful it's getting. I just absolutely love this meshy fishnet style. So now I'm just slip stitching into that middle chain, and then I'm chaining 1, cutting my yarn, and pulling out my hook, tightening it a bit because I finished my piece and I got to the length that I wanted. So now what I need to do is lay it out nice and flat so that the back seam that we were slip stitching into, that's the back. We want that to be in the back of our piece, not on the side, not in the front. We want that to be in the back. So I'm just laying it out nice and flat here. That string that's attached right there, that is the back seam. You can just ignore what I'm doing here. I'm doing this just for myself so I can visualize where the middle is, and I can kind of just make sure that it's laying flat. So I just slip stitched the back little string there into the front, the same one in the front, just so everything's lined up. But you can totally not do that if you don't want to. So I'm just, see how I'm laying it all nice and flat so I can make sure that I have the same amount of chains on each side, the same amount of double crochets on each side, just so I can make sure now that I'm adding the straps that it can be nice and even on both sides. And I'm going to use my 4.5mm hook for this. I'm just joining in some yarn, tying it right here, and I'm going to chain a certain amount for my straps. I'm going to chain 50 for my straps. As you can see here, I'm just chaining 50 chains, and then I'm going to slip stitch this. As you can see, I have a stitch marker on the other side, directly on the other side of this double crochet that I joined in, just so everything is nice and even. And then I'm just going to slip stitch this chain right in there, just like this. And where your straps go is depending on your size, where you want them to go. I found out that putting them in like 4 double crochets in, I think maybe 5 double crochets in, was perfectly fitting for me. Let me see, I think it was 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think it was 5 double crochets in. Fit my size perfectly. So you can do whatever you would like, but this I just found fit me very well. So I did the same thing on both sides, chained one, cut my yarn, and then I had the straps all in, and then I just needed to weave in all of the ends. And this didn't take very much yarn. It only took less than 164 yards, and you get this really pretty top out of it. And I really, really love this. It can be perfect for so many different aesthetics, and I really, really love how mossy this one looks. So this is the green one, and then in just a sec I'm going to show you the dress, and I think it turned out so pretty. I think the dress is my favorite of the 3. Next, I'm going to show you guys how to make the scalloped seashell style top. We're going to start off with a 4.5mm hook and a slip knot. And now we're going to do a chain amount that fits, again, around the largest part of our bust. But the chain is going to be in a multiple of 3. Make sure that you chain an amount that is a multiple of 3, and then make maybe like a couple inches extra, just because mine was a little bit too tight, so I would have liked it to be a couple inches bigger. So I would make yours a couple inches bigger if you would like yours to be more loose fitting. Now to start the first row, we are going to skip 8 chains, and then in the 9th chain we're going to put 1 single crochet. So skip 8 and put 1 single crochet in the 9th chain. Then you're going to go ahead and chain 5, and then you're going to skip 2 chains in your row, skip 2, and in the 3rd put a single crochet, another single crochet right in that 3rd chain. So you skip 2, go into the 3rd with a single crochet, and then we're going to go ahead and chain 5 again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then we're going to skip 2 chains, skip 1, 2, go into the 3rd with a single crochet again, and we're just going to keep on repeating this until we get all the way to the end with our little seashell scallop looking pattern. So then we're going to chain 5 again, skip 2, go into the 3rd with a single crochet right there. And we're just going to keep on doing this, chaining 5, skipping 2 chains, going into the 3rd with a single crochet. Here I'm just chaining my 5 chains again. Then I'm going to skip 2, go into the 3rd with a single crochet, and just keep on doing this until we reach the end of our very long chain amount. So now here I'm at the end, and I have a perfect amount because I did a multiple of 3. That's why you want to make sure that you did a multiple of 3 so that you end off putting your last single crochet in that last chain. So here I have my long chain of little scallops here, and I'm going to go ahead and chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then I'm going to turn my work, and I'm going to put a single crochet right in that first scallop right there. Now we're going to be working our single crochets into the scallops for every single row going forward. Our single crochets are going to go into the previous row's scallop there. Then you're going to chain 5 again and put your second single crochet in the next scallop. We're only chaining 6 in the beginning of every row. For the rest of the time that we're doing the row, we're just doing, again, our chain 5s, but we just chain 6 in the beginning of the row. So now we're going to just be chaining 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then we are going to put our single crochet into that big gap where our scallop is. So this is just repeating itself all the way down the row. We're just going to be chaining 5, putting our next single crochet in that big old scallop space, and then chaining 5 again, putting our next single crochet in the next scallop space, and so on and so forth until you reach your final scallop of the row. So I'm going to keep on repeating this: single crochet in that space, then chaining 5, single crochet in the space, chaining 5, and I'm going to keep on going with this until I am at my final scallop, and I'll see you guys in just a sec. Alright, so now I have reached the end of my row here, so I'm just going to put a single crochet right in that space just to finish off the row, and then I'm going to, again, like we did in the first row, chaining 6 only at the beginning of the row. Only at the beginning of the row we chain 6. And then I'm going to turn my work, and then I'm going to put my first single crochet in that first space right there. Just put my single crochet right there, and then I'm going to chain 5 again. We're going to go back to chaining our 5s. So we're just going to chain 5 and then put our next single crochet in that next scallop space, and this pattern just keeps on going all the way throughout until you reach the length of the top that you want. And then when you get to the end of your row, your final single crochet just goes in that final scallop. Then you chain 6, turn your work, put your first single crochet in the first scallop space, and then you chain 5, put your next single crochet in the next space, and it just keeps on going all the way around until you reach the length that you want. And you could potentially keep on going for however long that you want to. You could even make a dress with this one as well. I wanted to, this one does take quite a bit longer, and I did not have enough time, so I did not make a dress out of it. But eventually I would really love to. Also, another thing I would love to do is to make this with a sequin yarn. I thought that would be so pretty, like with one strand being a sequin and one strand being like a very thin type of yarn like this. I thought that would be so pretty. So I kept on going until I reached the length that I wanted. Then I chained 1, cut my yarn, pulled out my hook, tightened it a bit, and then I had my really pretty mermaid seashell looking top. And now I'm just going to sew them together, sew the sides together. So I just laid it flat, and I'm going to grab my tapestry needle, tie it on, and just sew the entire thing together. You could make technically 2 separate ones, but since I really don't like sewing things together, I decided to make just one long one so that I only have to sew one side. And this is again going to be our back seam. I'm just lining it up nicely so each of the holes line up really well, and then I'm just literally sewing it together with my tapestry needle. You can slip stitch it together however way that you like to seam things together. This is just the way that I like to do it. So I'm just going all the way down with my tapestry needle, sewing the piece together. Again, this is going to be the back of the top. And then I am just, once I reach the end, I'm going back and forth a couple times, and just to make sure that it's nice and tight and secure. And then I'm cutting my yarn, and it is nicely sewn together. There is my seam, and I'm just turning it inside out now so I can attach my straps. And as you can see, I laid it flat so that the seam is in the back, just like we did with the other top. And now to make sure that it's laying flat, you can just use your measuring tape to measure on each side. Mine came out to 8 inches on both sides, and I'm just attaching where I think my straps would look best. And you can line this up on your body to see where your straps would look best on your body, but I just found that it looks the best for my body right here where I'm attaching my yarn. So now I'm just attaching my yarn here and chaining 50 for the straps and then slip stitching on the other side, making sure that I have everything nice and even, just how I did with the first top that I showed you how to make. And I just wanted to reiterate super fast to make your beginning chain at least an inch or two bigger than you would think, because mine is too small, and I'm really sad because it did take me quite a bit to make this top, and I think it's so pretty, but it is like an inch or two too small on me. So I would definitely recommend to make it an inch or two larger, your beginning chain. And I just did the same thing that I did straps for the first top that I made, just slip stitching it on the other side, chaining 1, cutting my yarn, pulling out my hook, just the exact same process. And then I'm just going to repeat it on this side, chaining 50, attaching my yarn, chaining 50, slip stitching, chaining 1, and you know, all of the things that I did. And then I'm just going to weave in my ends, and this top is finished. Look at how fun and mermaidy it is. I love how it's paired with this mermaid skirt and this like starfish necklace. I think it's just such a beautiful, beautiful top, but again, sadly, it's just a little bit too small on me, but so, so pretty. I love this top. It doesn't take that long to make, and it doesn't take that much yarn either, and it's so pretty. And again, I do want to make myself a version of this in a dress form because I think that would be so pretty. But if I were to make it again, I'm going to make my beginning chain a couple inches bigger just so it fits more comfortably. And the top is finished. It is so pretty and so mermaidy, and it's going to look so cute to wear on the beach with all your fun outfits for the summer. And the next top I'm going to show you how to make is this really cute tie vest. I'm again using my 4.5mm hook, starting off with a slip knot, and I'm going to chain an amount that fits around my under bust here, plus a little bit extra, of course, because I don't like things tight. So I'm just doing like an inch or two extra. So go ahead and chain an amount that is nice and comfortable to fit around your under bust. And if you're like me, a little bit extra if you like to be super comfortable. So I'm going ahead and chaining that amount, and I have that here. Also, I forgot to mention you want to make sure that it is an even number. I chained 170 for reference. Now I'm just going to put a double crochet in my 6th chain from my hook. So in the sixth chain from my hook, I'm going to put my first double crochet, and then I'm going to go ahead and chain 1. Then I'm going to skip a chain, skip 1, go into the next with another double crochet. Then I'm going to chain 1 again, skip a chain, go into the next with a double crochet. Then I'm going to chain 1 again. There's what it's looking like so far. Then I'm going to chain 1 again, skip a chain, skip, go into the next with a double crochet. So I'm sure you guys are understanding what we're doing by now. We're just going to be repeating the exact same thing again with doing a double crochet, skipping a chain, doing a double crochet, chaining 1, skipping a chain, going into the next with a double crochet, chaining 1, skipping a chain, going into the next with a double crochet, and so on and so forth, just continuing this pattern until we get to the end of our row. So I'm just going to keep repeating this till I get to the end, and I will see you guys in just a sec when I have finished mine and gotten to the end of my row. So now I have reached the end of my row, and I'm just putting my last couple double crochets, chain 1, and then put my last double crochet in that last chain space there. And then I'm going to start row 2. This is what we have so far for row 1. Nice long mesh stitch here. So cool looking. And then I'm going to go ahead and chain 3 to start row 2. So I'm just chaining 3, which counts as our first double crochet and our first chain 1. So now we're going to, since that counts as the first double crochet and chain 1, we're going to go into the top of the next double crochet, and we are going to put a double crochet in the top of that double crochet there, and then I'm going to chain 1, put my next double crochet in the top of the previous row's double crochet, chaining 1, and basically this is the same mesh pattern that we did for the first top, it's just with a much smaller hook. So I'm just doing that exact same thing, putting a double crochet in the top of the previous row's double crochet, and then I am chaining 1, going into the next with a double crochet, and just repeating this until I reach the end of my row again. And there's what it's looking like so far for row 2. So I'm just going to keep on doing this until I reach the end of this row 2, and then we will start on row 3. All right, we have reached the end here, and we're just chaining 1, and now as you can see we have this beginning chain here that we have, so we're just going to skip the first chain there and go into that second one that we see, and putting our last double crochet right there, just like that. So we're just going to skip one of the chains and go into the second one that we see, and then we're going to go ahead and chain 3 for row 3, and row 3 is going to be the row that we're going to be repeating for this entire for the entire pattern until we get to the next part of the pattern. So we're just going to be repeating row 3. So we're just going into, we chained 3, we're going into the next stitch with a double crochet, chaining 1, double crochet in the top of the previous row's double crochet, just keeping on repeating this pattern all the way down the row. And then once you reach the end of the row, of every row in the future, you're just going to see your chain 3 that we have from the beginning of the previous row, and you're going to make your final double crochet in that middle chain of the chain 3. And you're going to do this for every future row now. So there's a chain 3, and you're going to go into the middle with your final double crochet of the row. So then we're going to chain 3 again, turn our work. That chain 3 counts as the first double crochet, chain 1. Then we're going to go into the next double crochet and put a double crochet, and then we're going to chain 1, put another double crochet in the top of the previous row's double crochet, and then we're going to chain 1 again, double crochet in the top of the previous row's double crochet, and keep on repeating this until we reach the end of our row. And we are going to again do the same thing that we did for row 3, and we are going to put our final double crochet in the middle chain of that chain 3. 3 chains, put our last double crochet right in the middle. And then we're going to go ahead and chain 3 again to start our next row, turn our work, put our next double crochet right in the top of the next double crochet of the previous row, chain 1, double crochet in the top of the previous row's double crochet, and just keep on repeating this until you reach the amount of rows that you would like. I did mine until I had 15 rows. I kept on going till I had 15 rows. And now we are going to make our cups. So I'm just chaining 3 and turning my work. And now I am going to make 21 total double crochets down the row here. My first double crochet is counting, of course, as my first double crochet. So I have 1, 2, 3, just continuing the same pattern, but not going all the way down. I'm just going to go in 21 to make 21 double crochets because that fits half of my bust measurement very nicely. And I would, if I were you, just keep on going with your pattern here and just size it up on your actual, see how I'm just sizing mine up on my actual bust in real life, just so then you kind of figure out what is the best size for you. And I figured that 21 fit very nicely for me. So I am doing 2 rows of doing this exact same thing of 21 double crochets here, of doing my 21 double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, just for 21 stitches for 2 rows. Just doing the exact same thing for 2 rows here, just like that. And that fit my bust, around half of my bust perfectly. And yours might be different. That just fits for me. So now we're going to start doing some decreasing in the last stitch of the row. So I'm just going to do the exact same thing that we've been doing for this next row until I have 2 stitches left in the row. So just doing the double crochet, chain 1, double crochet all the way down the row until I have 2 stitches left. Now here are my 2 stitches, and I'm going to do my double crochet decrease. So I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook, pull up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2. Now I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook into that middle chain of the chain 3, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. So I just turned 2 stitches into 1 for a decrease. Now I'm going to chain 3 again, and I'm going to turn my work. And now I'm going to do the exact same thing that we've been doing until I get to my final 2 stitches of the row, and then I'm going to be doing my decrease in those stitches as well. So I'm just going to be doing my double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1 until I have 2 stitches left of the row. And then I'm going to do another decrease, yarn over, insert my hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert my hook into the middle chain of the chain 3, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3. Then I'm going to chain 3, turn my work again, and do the exact same thing again until I have only 2 stitches left in my row. And we're just going to keep on repeating this until we have only 2 stitches left. So just keep on decreasing, 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 making each row smaller by 1 until we have only 2 stitches left to go. So I'm just chaining 3, turning my work, doing everything as normal until I get to my final 2 stitches, and then I'm going to do my double crochet decrease in those last 2 stitches, just like we've been doing. Here I am doing my decrease, yarn over, pull through 2, just doing that exact same thing. All the way down for every single row. As you can see, it's starting to get smaller, like a triangle. So now I am almost done. I almost have only the 2 stitches left here, so I'm doing one of my final decreases here, and then I'm going to chain 3, and I'm going to turn my work. And as you can see, we only have 2 stitches left. So this is our final time, our final decrease just in these last 2 stitches. So I'm just going to do the final decrease right here in these last 2 stitches, and that is it for the cup. It just turns into this big old triangle, just like that. And then we're going to go ahead and make the straps. I chained 60 for my straps, so go ahead and chain however many that you need. And after I chain my 60, I'm going to lay out the vest just like this, so then I can figure out where I want to attach my strap in the back. I went ahead and attached mine in the 11th double crochet in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I didn't really have like a rule of why I did this. It just looked kind of like in the middle. Technically, it just looked like it was in the middle. So I went ahead and reattached my chain of 60, put it back on my hook. Then I slip stitched into that double crochet there. And then I went ahead and chained 1, cut my yarn, and tightened it just a little bit. and that was all I did for the straps. I really didn't have like a set rule on where I attached it in the back. Just see how it lays here. That's where it looked the most even, and that is pretty much why I attached it there. So just do whatever looks best for you. And now for the other side's cups, I am just in that chain 3. I'm attaching my yarn in that middle chain of the chain 3 and just tying it on and repeating the exact same thing that I did for the other cup. So just inserting my hook, chaining 3, and doing the exact same thing that we did on the other side. Just doing 2 rows of an odd number of stitches. For me, I did 21. And then for the rest of the rows, until you only have 2 stitches left, we're going to do a double crochet decrease in the last 2 stitches of every single row after these 2 normal rows. And now for the ties, I'm just going to attach it right in the row that we started our cups in. So I'm just going to attach my hook here in the post of that double crochet. I'm just attaching it right there. And I am going to chain 85 for my ties. You can chain however many you would like. I just found that chaining 85, for me, I really liked the look of that best. So I'm going to chain 85, and then after I am done chaining my 85, or you chain however many that you need, I'm just going to cut my yarn and pull out my hook, tighten it just a little bit. Don't want to tighten it too much. Wow, I actually tightened it a lot. Never mind, I guess you can tighten it a lot. And then I go ahead and attach my little wooden beads just to add something a little bit extra. So I just string it on to my little tie here, and then I'm going to tie a little knot right at the bottom just to keep that little bead in place. And I really liked adding the beads. I thought I added just a little something fun and extra. And tighten it a little bit, and then go ahead and you can cut that relatively close, that tie relatively close to the end. So there we have one side, and now I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side, chaining 85 and then adding my bead at the end, making sure that I keep my tie even with the other one, just so it looks nice and even and cohesive. And here is the end of the vest. It's so adorable. If you want to go ahead and add a single crochet border around it just to make it a little more even, you are more than welcome to do so. I didn't think it really needed it. I thought it looked great just how it is. So here is mine all finished. I ended up making 2. I'm going to make more because I really want a green one. So I'm going to make a green one, but I made a blue and a cream one. And this blue one, this is the one I made second. It fits me really, really well, much better than the first one that I made because I made the cups a little bit too small. So make sure that you are sizing it up to your body as you're making it so you can ensure that everything is fitting perfectly. So when you're doing those 2 rows of just normal, like how I did the 21, size it up to your bust, make sure it fits, make sure that everything looks the way that you like it because you want everything to fit you perfectly. And now we've reached the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next one, and I hope you make these for your incredible summer adventures.